Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Mythgard in Middle-earth. My name is Corey Olson, the Tolkien professor, and I am joined, as always, by my friend Gryfflet, who is already stealthy and quiet because, of course, we're still in the middle of Ost Celebrant here. Gryfflet has been patiently waiting where I left him after my fun conversation with Pinion a couple weeks back. So he's been hiding here behind this tree for some time, waiting to finish his Ost Celebrant quests here, which he is just about prepared to do. So, in fact, I think what we're going to do here is we're going to attempt... Hey, Gryfflet, there you are. Okay, hang on. All right, there we go. We are going to attempt to see if I can finish, because the last ones I have to do is find those belongings. I want to see if I can claim them while I'm stealthed, right? Those like little piles of things. So let me see, because if I can do that, well, if I just have to go near them and I can do that while I'm stealthed, then I could theoretically complete these quests without having to fight all the rest of these ghosts. So let's see what we can do. So while Gryfflet sneaks around, I'm going to answer some questions because I've got a whole bunch of backlog of lore questions here. So lots of stuff. So let me see if I can get some of them here. Let's see. So there are a couple questions that came through on Exploring the Lord of the Rings, which Phil marked down for me to answer here. Lady Schmebulak, whom I got to meet at Textmoot, which was great, she was asking, did I pick our nights? Did I pick Tuesday nights for Exploring the Lord of the Rings? Because the Inklings usually met Tuesday mornings at the Eagle and Child before the war. I would like to claim that that was a deliberate nod to the Inklings, but no. I shamelessly chose that night purely for my own convenience. It was like 2.5 years ago now, so I don't even remember why it was exactly that I chose Tuesdays. I think I had a reason, but... Oh, wait, yes! I don't even know what belongings did I discover. I didn't even see any. But I seem to have suddenly... Oh, is it these axes leaning against the wall? Or leaning against the tree? Okay. Cool. All right. I can do this stealth. That is exciting. In which case, I shall continue my stealthy exploration. Right. Okay, sorry. So no, but that is a sort of a fun perk, right? The Tuesday night thing. Okay, so Trifle Sauron Fancies, whom I call Trifle, asked, she thought the other night, is the bondage, this is a great question. Is the bondage in Release from Bondage, that is in the, the title of the story of the Lay of Leithian, of Beren and Luthien, is the bondage the darkness, or is it immortality? Isn't there some quote about elves and the deathless telling stories about mortality and the release from the world? Yes, there is. So, Trifle, it's funny that you should ask that, because I just gave a talk on exactly this subject. Wait, I see another thing, a shield. I just gave a talk on exactly this subject last year at Textmoot, actually. I did a big analysis of, a close analysis of the Lay of Leithian, and that was actually my argument. It was a really one of those kind of remarkable experiences, and those of you who are teachers will probably have had this experience before, where you sort of have a particular idea going into a talk, and you start like planning the talk and thinking things through and everything, and then as you do that, you discover that like the actual answer is almost the opposite of what you went in thinking your thesis was going to be, right? That totally happened to me in that talk, and I ended up writing a completely different talk than I expected. I was comparing the Lay of Leithian and the Lay of Leithian and the Last Battle, looking at the way that both of them kind of deal with death and immortality, Lewis and Tolkien, in those two works. And I was expecting it just to be a contrast. Oh, that's only a banded coffer. not super helpful under the circumstances. Okay, wait, hang on. Where's my other... Oh, I need to go way back in that direction, huh? Okay, fine. Anyway, so I expected that my whole argument was going to be like contrast between the two of them, but then it turned out not at all to be the case. So I was totally surprised by my conclusion. Anyway, so that was really fun. But long story short, Trifle, I would say that essentially, yes, the conclusion that I came to was along exactly those lines. I wouldn't say, it wouldn't be quite fair to say that, like, she was seeking, Luthien was, like, seeking to escape from immortality. Exactly. But, because I think that would be a mischaracterization. It's not merely that Tolkien is depicting immortality as a burden from which they must escape. But in the context of the end of that story of Beren and Luthien, that is, when you put that together with the statements that are made earlier on, I'm doing like the 1-minute version of my hour-long talk, but when you put it together with the statements that were made earlier on about her commitment to stay with him and everything and their bond together, her being tied to Arda, her sort of freedom from Arda. Oh, Doran, see, I can't take you anywhere. I can't harm myself. I wasn't trying to harm myself. What is the problem here? Oh, I see. Was I? Sorry, I was trying to. I must have subconsciously been wanting to punish Doran for aggroing that dude. Okay. All right, Doran, where do we go now? It doesn't bode well. The Easterling's whereabouts are still a mystery. You know of a passage that leads down into the heart. Ooh, goody. Okay, you thought it crumbled. You can show me the way. Okay, let's go down and find the Easterling dude. And meanwhile, I'm just going to loot this backpack, if that's okay, Doran. Oh, okay. I see. Doran says, you can loot that backpack if I can kill this guy. Fine. Fine. That's fair. A fair exchange. Oh, man. My inventory's full now, Doran. Oh, well, I'll have to leave that stuff. Okay. All right, Doran, let's go.
While confronting the treacherous brigands and Oathbreakers of Ost Celebrant, you have discovered a concealed passage that reeks of dread. What horrors could be lurking beneath the crumbling ruins?
Wow. Halberd's like all intense about this. I don't know. What horrors? Honestly, I wasn't expecting horrors. I mean, I guess maybe because like Gryfflet has gotten a bit blasé about the ghosts, but horror is not what I was expecting. Eye sworn folks, yeah, that I was kind of expecting. Okay. You hear me sneaking about, and yet you're not coming after me. It's the ghost that you heard sneaking about, but you didn't see me sneaking about. Oh, gotcha. Hi there. Positional advantage. Oh, dear. Didn't see me coming, did you? Good job, Doran. Okay, so anyway, so long story short, Trifle, I do think it's not that it's one or the other, of course. It's a play on the two, right? That there are many ways in which the story, the title, Escape from Bondage, seems a peculiar kind, because I mean, like, there's a little bit of rescuing from prisons, but it's not, it's not like it's happening continuously or even is the central thing, right? I mean, there are lots of things that happen in that story, and escaping from bondage is it's an important element. I'm not trying to downplay it, but it's not entirely obvious why that should give the title to the story, is what I'm saying. So yeah, I do think you're exactly on the right track there, Trifle. Okay, let me find another question as I'm going through. I'm not talking too much about because this is like sort of interesting. If I come to any interesting architecture, I will of course interrupt myself. But this all seems fairly normal, like the rest of Ost Celebrant, that is. I'm not quite sure what the purpose of these underground galleries was originally. The things hanging from the ceiling seem to be lamps, which makes sense. Boy, these guys are kind of... Oh. I guess they're fine. Not really too much of a threat. Anyway, so, but in the meantime, let me answer another question here. Let's see. Okay. All right. This is only fair. So, we almost got sidetracked. Oh, seriously? You're both going to attack me? That is both impolite and unwise. People were threatening to sidetrack our discussion in exploring the Lord of the Rings with a conversation about hobbits and the afterlife. And I steadfastly refused to be drawn down that particular rabbit hole because I wanted to finish our discussion of like one paragraph of Book 2 of The Fellowship of the Ring. It seemed like a modest goal. So, oh. There you are. Anyway, but I said I would come back to it. So indeed, I shall come back to that now. Absolutely every indicator that we give, that we are given. Now, this is never addressed, obviously. But from every indicator we have, it appears that hobbits are essentially of the same kind as humans. Like, if you categorize people by their, like, I don't know, your, like, ontology, right? By, like, where you fit into the world. Like the firstborn of Iluvatar and the secondborn of Iluvatar, and then the dwarves, the stepchildren of Iluvatar, right? All that stuff. It's clearly hobbits are not immortal like elves, right? Nothing could be more explicit than that. No reason to think that they share the peculiar situation of dwarves either, as we know that the reason dwarves have any kind of peculiar thing... Was that guy in prison and he was just attacking us through the bars out of spite? That is super weird. Anyway, the only reason is because of the sort of rather peculiar creation story of the dwarves, right? Where how they're made by Aule, and then Iluvatar gives them, gives them independent life. Sort of imbues them with souls, if that's exactly what's happening. It's slightly dangerous vocabulary, but anyway, it's we can see that this is the kind of thing that happens to dwarves, and obviously that's not true of hobbits either. And frankly, there's no other option, right? I mean, there is no other option. There are only so many things that can be true. I mean, there are only so many points of view. Not points of view. There are only so many options when it comes to, like, the eternal destiny of creatures. So they seem to be related to men. They seem to have the same lifespan as men. Like, hobbits seem to be somehow, in a way, never explained, derived from men. And it's not the only example. We were talking about this a lot on Silmfilm the week before last, the Silmarillion Film Project, because we were talking about the fall of man, and so the issue came up over the course of the history of the race of men from the time when they awoke near Hildorian through the Third Age. At what point do hobbits happen? We don't ever really know. I mean, like, were hobbits originally... This was the decision that we were making in our own adaptation in the Silmfilm Project, saying, okay, do we want to decide that hobbits and other subraces of men, like most particularly the Woses, right? Hanburi Khan and company, the Druidine, do we want them to be kind of part of the thing from the beginning? Do we decide that we want them, like, that when men awaken in Hildorian, some of them are short and furry-footed, and some of them are like broad, squat, and talk funny, and can turn themselves and can like connect themselves to statues, and others are like not like that at all. And we decided in film that we didn't want that we wanted them all to be sort of similar at the beginning and to be diversifying as time went on. Tolkien never answers that question. Tolkien doesn't ever come, as far as I know, within 100 miles of touching that question. He goes as far as giving like an etymology for the word hobbit, right, by connecting it to Holbitlan, hole builder, right? But that's it, right? That's as far as he gets in explaining where hobbits came from, apart from the scattered references to the fact that they have been around a long time, and that, oh, that's a cliff, not a set of stairs. Back away, Gryfflet, from the edge. Anyway, you know, it's yeah. So they've been around quite a long time, Mary says, and yet where? Like, we know they've been traveling, but like when? Like, quite a long time. Second age? First age? How do we know? Right? We don't. So again, we have no idea of when the origins of hobbits were. Tolkien never touched that. But again, it seems relatively clear that hobbits are somehow related to men and certainly share their ultimate fate. So, as for the question of what happens to hobbits exactly in the afterlife, well, we'd have to know what happens to humans exactly in the afterlife to know that, and the only thing that we know is that humans go beyond the circles of the world, whither the elves know not, and it is, of course, exactly that uncertainty about what precisely happens to men that leads to all of the problems with mortality, right? Why is death so scary? It is the uncertainty about that. And the idea of going off into the darkness when the darkness is so full of fear and terror here in Middle-earth. And that's why Tolkien has one of the primary campaigns of Melkor and Sauron be to fill the darkness with fear, right? Associate death with darkness, and then darkness with fear, and you have a fear of death. And that's like Sauron and Morgoth's both a sort of strategy with men from the beginning, like from the very early days of humans in Middle-earth. So anyway, that's my answer to that question. Okay. Yeah, Sink Stuff, you're right. Dwarves can live a long time. That's what I mean when I say, again, it's perfectly obvious that hobbits don't have they don't share. They're not like dwarves, right? As far as their lifespan and their mortality and their final destiny is concerned, because we know like their longevity is very similar to that of humans, right? Not. The dwarves are categorically different, right? There's you can say there's a difference between living 130 years and living, like 75 or 80 or 90 years, but there's nothing like the difference between living 400 years or 300 years, and living 120 years. So, it's clearly a different thing. But anyway, all right, Doran. So there are banners where the text just drew my attention to banners, which of course I rarely need. To have my attention drawn to banners. So I'm looking at this banner, which is, I gather, an Easterling banner. Now, there was that emphasis on the eye, right? Eye sworn and all that stuff with the folks up above. We have an abstract fanged skull, right? And not like two-fanged, like faux vampire fangs, or something like that, or like snake fangs or something like that. Just like, I don't know what. Who has teeth like that? Nobody has like equal length teeth like that. So it's just sort of stylized, fearsome teeth in a clearly human skull. The nasal gap there is clearly a human skull. And then the eye up here in the forehead, right? So the eye of Sauron planted as like a third eye. Nagarwina, I know we've seen this banner before too. Was it at Dol Guldur? That seems quite likely. I do. I also recognize it. Is this meant to be an Easterling banner? Does that mean it was? That's the implication, right? The text just said we don't see the Easterling anywhere, but there are these banners all over the place, right? And obviously, in the rest of this place, in this the rest of the ruin of this underground chamber or complex here in Ost Celebrant, which is all Gondorian stuff, those banners don't quite fit, right? So are they meant to be an orc banner? I don't know, the skull looks a little human. Where's the steps? Okay. These steps are so precipitous that they just kind of look like, big old dining hall? So you have to go through the dining hall in order to get to the floor? It's a little weird. Nice of them, though, that keep the fires burning. Oh, hey! How do I get down? Did I miss it? Darn, did we miss it? Do I have to jump? What's the story here? I have to jump? Seriously? I mean, like, I can do that. It doesn't trouble me, but it just kind of seems, from a design standpoint, a rather limited... we're going to make this big... I guess there's some wreckage. So there probably used to be a set of stairs there, I guess. Fine. Where's my safe fall? I don't really need it, but where'd it go? Oh, no. Can't find it. Oh, there it is. Woohoo! Okay. Yeah, I don't see a set of stairs that fell. Ooh, though, look at the statue. It's a Witch King statue. There you go, Dol Guldur, right? Oh, there he is. Okay, you're hardly surprised. Grave robbers are weak and soft. They believe they were chosen by the eye to serve. They're merely a tool. They delayed me long enough for what? Those men you aid are beyond helping. They would sooner fight amongst themselves than fight against a foe. What, you mean the Rohirrim? Your people will engulf this land in terror when at last the dark shadow of our master falls upon the realm. Oh, man. Neither you nor the impotent fools upon the field or those pitiful Gondorians will stand in our way. Ooh. And excuse me, I was looking at your cloak. Could you turn back around? Thank you. Yeah, so Falcon with the ring above it. That's really cool. Yeah, that's very interesting. So yeah, if it's... But it's interesting that they use the ring, because the ring is kind of, you know, it's a little bit hush-hush, you know, the whole Ring of Power thing. An empty victory. Well, not for you. Yeah, so, anyway. And look... I almost missed that. They brought the rug. Oh, this is evil upholstery. This rug is a rug of evil. Oh, see, look, you can tell it's got the skulls on it. Isn't this is a Dol Guldur rug? They brought the upholstery from Dol Guldur in order to roll it out here and put it in front of this obviously Witch Kingy statue, right? We've seen this before. It's not like we're likely to forget those, you know, shoulder guards any time soon, right? So yeah, this is so what's their connection with Dol Guldur? That's weird. All right, hang on a second. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Love the map. Okay. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, so this is just what I wanted to confirm here. I'm like, Parth Celebrant is really close to Dol Guldur, isn't it? Yes, yes, it is. So, two theories here. One, is that the Easterlings, when they invade here through the Brownlands, which is clearly what they're doing because they're crossing the river now into Ost Celebrant and probably down into the Wold, right? We probably better go warn the Rohirrim about that. That seems relatively urgent. If they're doing that, right, one of two things. They either could have, like, popped by Dol Guldur in order to, like, purchase some evil upholstery secondhand and bring it with them. They're like, well, we don't really not into the whole Witch King statue thing, but it looks pretty sinister, and we don't have any other statues or idols with us, so let's make do with that. Or they've allied themselves with the Witch King at Dol Guldur, and so they're like, hey, you know, we'll represent our, you know, friends and allies up there at Dol Guldur. This, of course, would be sort of... Keep in mind, we don't know anything from the text about the Easterlings. Almost nothing at all about the Easterlings. We know that they are under the service of Sauron. That's kind of mostly what we know about them. And so it's one of the things we were talking with, I was talking with Mike and Chris about yesterday. It's so much fun to be able to, there's such a long list of things in Tolkien's works about which we know so tantalizingly little, right? And which it would be really interesting to know more, and you know, holes which, like, storytellers like the Lotro developers can fill. And so thinking about the Easterlings, right, we know it's a thing that Sauron does to put his captains in strategic places so that they can coordinate those who can fight against his enemies from different directions, right? So Dol Guldur's position, Dol Guldur, of course, was where Sauron himself hid up for a while as he was regaining his strength. But since he left it, he hasn't abandoned it, right? And we know that one of the Ringwraiths is called the Lieutenant of Dol Guldur. So they're still in charge. The Nazgûl are still in charge of the place. And, of course, Lotro has represented that quite thoroughly. We've seen that in Southern Mirkwood from our time there before. But this idea that he would bring some of the Easterlings in sort of to the north up here, right, so that they could invade the north of Rohan and would thereby, this is the perfect place for them to invade, right, because not only would they be able to attack the Rohirrim and prevent the Rohirrim from going, they would draw the Rohirrim up to the northern parts of their realm in the opposite direction of Gondor, right? That would seem to serve maximally to ensure that the Rohirrim did not come south to the aid of Gondor, which you'd think would be his strategy. And Dol Guldur is the center point up here, right? He's going to do an attack up by Dale, we know, which, of course, they got to develop the whole sort of history and subplot there when they were doing that region. But down here in the south as well, Dol Guldur, of course, sits right across the river there from Caras Galadhon, so we've got this as the centerpiece of the anti-elves of Lothlorien. Let's keep Galadriel and Celeborn occupied, and they can coordinate with the Easterlings coming in. So that kind of an alliance makes, well, it's not even an alliance, kind of a delegation, really, makes a lot of sense. That Sauron would try to coordinate his forces in these particular ways. Nothing like this is explicitly said in the text, and indeed nothing has been explicitly said in the game either, right? The concept of that alliance, or that coordination, perhaps I should say, has only been established by the rug and by the statue, admittedly, by the statue as well. And possibly Gnagarwina, as you were suggesting, by the banners as well, though my own memory for where exactly I've seen those banners before is sufficiently bad that I can't absolutely confirm that myself, but I am ready to believe it. These other banners, these lightning skull banners, again, we've seen those. Those are much cooler. Really just looks like a heavy metal album cover, that one. The fanged skull with the eye and the lightning bolts. Also from Dol Guldur, yeah. I would. I mean, those, they're clearly associated together. Those hanging banners and the smaller banners that we were just looking at there too. Okay, cool. Let's see. All right. I think we're done here, Doron. I think that you have helped to thwart the Easterling invasion. Congratulations. Let us depart. Okay. Oh, look. Right near the exit. No. Yes. Oh, wrong exit. Oh, are you trying to usher me out into Rohan? Is that the point here? Okay, you're not certain what we would face. Oh man, hang on a second. I got inventory problems. Let's see. I can use that. That will be handy. And get rid of that sucker. Otherwise, do I really need these essences? I really don't think so. Okay. Oops. Sorry, Doran. Didn't mean to walk away from you there. Okay. It eases me to know that Ost Celebrant is once again in the hands of my people and our allies. Our journey is far from over, but delight in this moment of peace. Okay. Let's see. Gloves of the Western Defender. Sure. Okay. All right, what do you say, Doran? The battle is won. Hey, well, you know, I'm proud to have served at your side too there, Doran. That was great. I sense your oath remains unfulfilled. Oh, dear. Some other threat remains beyond our sight. You're going to return to your post, and I should find you up there. Okay. What's through this door? Nothing, because it's locked. So you took me out here into the middle of nowhere for no reason? Oh, right, I see where we are. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I gotta go back. I gotta go back and repair. I'm gonna go find what Ithmar. I gotta find Doran first. I'll go up and find Doran, and then I'll go back to what's his face, and I'll repair. I know I've got my boots and gauntlets and cloak are in some serious need of assistance here. Okay. Before I got into that, was there a lore question I was in the middle of? Oh yeah, Hobbits in the Afterlife. No, we pretty much fixed that. Okay, JJ just asking. Today I saw it come past, but I didn't see it, so thank you, Phil. We have the Silmarillion for the elves, but do we know any other cultures' creation stories or myths? No, we don't. Because, of course, you will notice one particular trend. The only cultures that we meet in Middle-earth who have, you know, those kinds of myths or, you know, ancient legends and things like that we hear from are ones that, like, follow the elves, essentially, right? So I am trying to think of other examples in Middle-earth of whether it be creation stories or just like ancient myths of, you know, the ancient days. If we hear any of those from cultures totally uninfluenced by the elvish tradition, and I don't think so. The way that Tolkien kind of depicts this is well, again, as far as what we hear, there are the cultures who, like, know the scoop, right? Because of their association with elves, like the Númenóreans, most, like, primarily, and therefore the Rohirrim sort of secondarily. And then there's and then you've got like the wild people who like don't have that inside scoop, but from them we don't really hear ancient stories and legends. I'm sure they exist, but Tolkien never got into those, right? So yeah, I'm trying to think of any examples, and no examples are coming to mind. The only glimpse that I can think of that we get of this kind of thing is a couple places where people like Tom Bombadil are known by different names, right, to different peoples, right? So like there are clearly different stories for each of them and everything, right? that gives us a glimpse of this idea of like multiple stories and multiple cultures all coming together, or all, chronicling the world and mythically comprehending the world differently. But we don't really hear much about them. Okay. Hey, Dawn, good to see you. Long time no see. Is there anything in the Athrobeth? Not exactly, Phil. What we see in the Athrobeth is... So, the Athrobeth of Andreth and Finrod is it's the debate. It's the discussion between Andreth, who is a mortal wise woman, and Finrod Felagund, the Elf Lord. So they are, first of all, Andreth is one of the humans from the like cultures that have been living with the elves now for some time. So they are like have been like indoctrinated in elf lore. The thing that makes Andreth so interesting is that she is resistant, right? She tells Finrod, like, y'all are clueless, you elves, right? In particular, she's like, yeah, I've heard that thing that you elves say about how, like, death is the gift of Iluvatar. And she's like, yeah, you wouldn't say that if you were mortal. You know, like, that's like, what an elf lord thing to say, right? You guys don't know anything about this. And then, so again, she has a difference of point of view about the significance of these things, but she doesn't really give, like, different myths or different... sort of concept of creation of the history or anything like that. They're starting, Andreth and Finrod are starting from a similar framework, but have a difference of opinion about like what it means and what it's like from each side of the point of view. So what they talk about, what they discuss, Andreth and Finrod, is the elvish point of view on God and mortality and the human point of view on God and mortality, and it is absolutely one of the most fascinating things Tolkien ever wrote. I love the Athrobeth. It is in Morgoth's Ring. I can't wait until we get there in the Mythgard Academy. We're going to be starting Sauron Defeated fairly soon, and then Morgoth's Ring is next, but it's going to be super fun to talk about that. Okay, sorry. So, Doran, what are you saying? I see. Okay, with my ancient enemy again defeated, I feel at ease. My curse may not be lifted, but I know that along with you, I was able to stand against my foe. The Horse Lords have a strong ally in you. Thanks very much. Take the knowledge I have gleaned from our battle in the ruins and bring it to them. You sense the rumblings of a larger conflict in the near future. Yeah, me too. As for me, I will remain with my men. They lie in disarray, and it is my hope that I can one day rally them at my side again. You know, we don't really get the end of Doran's story, do we? Are we ever going to see a time when the Oathbreakers of Ost Celebrant find peace? Oh, sync stuff. Why Tolkien chose a ring as the binding force of evil. Why? No. I mean, nobody can answer that. I'm not even sure Tolkien could answer that. I would say generally and kind of vaguely that, of course, he chose the ring. The ring became the Ring of Power. It was first Bilbo's magic invisibility ring. So Sauron's ring, of ruling ring to rule them all, is a ring because Bilbo had a ring. Right, so Bilbo's magic ring became, when Tolkien sat down to write the sequel, it became the sort of central driving force of the story, and it became in the early drafts, early on when he was writing the material that later became Chapter 3, basically when the Ringwraiths showed up in the road, when the Black Rider comes down the road, and Tolkien was like, who the heck is this dude in black? Why is Frodo so afraid of him, and what's going on here anyway? Is when he began to say, hang on a second, what if that ring is a ring of power and it's evil and it was made by Sauron to entrap mortals? And he began going along that line. So when he was sitting down, so there was never a point at which he's like, okay, I want an evil artifact that can dominate everything. What can it be? Let's see. Brooch? No. Armband? No. Boot? No, that won't work so well. Ring? How about ring? Like, that never happened, right? He never had that brainstorming session because he started with the ring, right? Bilbo's invisibility ring from The Hobbit. So, if you want to do the why question, you kind of have to go back a step, but it no longer, you'll notice, becomes the same question, right? Because when he invented a ring for Bilbo to find, it wasn't an evil ring of dominion, right? So it just kind of happens. That's what I mean when I say that I don't think that even Tolkien himself could like fully answer that question. But as for, if you then want to though push it back a step and say, well, why did Bilbo find a ring? Because magic rings are kind of a thing, right? And here, Tolkien was always resistant to the idea of connecting it to a specific ring. People love doing this, it's like inescapable force of human nature that people want to find a source. Like, was it, the ring in Wagner that influenced him? Was it, the ring in, like, people have tried to identify it with, there's this magic ring that turns you invisible in the Arthurian world. Yeah, like a really obscure one in one version, like, of that, like a minor character has in one version of an Arthurian story. It's not central to the Arthurian story at all. It's this like random artifact in Crétin de Troyes. So I don't think he's thinking of any of those things. I think that he wanted a magic invisibility ring. Like, magic rings are a thing. And remember, Bilbo at that time in the story, especially in chapter 5, you may remember the exact point at which Bilbo puts his hand on the ring in the dark. Bilbo is also thinking about his sword, right? And he thinks how splendid it is. He discovers that his sword glows in the dark too, and when goblins are nearer, but fortunately not quite too near, and he thinks how splendid it is that he has a sword from Gondolin, right? Bilbo is really not overwhelmed, but whelmed, right, by the realization, by the wonder of having in his own possession a marvelous magical artifact that connects him with all of these ancient stories of wonder that he has heard before, right? And I think he finds a magic ring for the same kind of reason, because there are lots of ancient, wonderful stories from our world in which people find magic rings. Like, as I say, they're kind of a thing, right? Not a hugely dominant thing. There are fewer magic rings in ancient stories and legends than you might think, actually. But still, it exists, right? And the ring to turn somebody invisible is sort of a fun and logical artifact in some ways. So, no, I do not believe that he was making like an homage to a particular ring. I don't think that he was so directly influenced as that. But I do think that sort of general and rather vague connection to these old traditions is what started the magic ring in Bilbo's pocket, or under his hand, I should say, on the floor there. And that's, of course, what then eventually grew into the rings, which then proliferated into multiple rings as that story began to fill itself out. So anyway, that is my sense of how that grew. So when you're asking why questions, like why did Tolkien do something question, keep in mind, anybody who answers a question, anyone who says, I can tell you why Tolkien did this, is probably wrong. That is a question that is almost impossible to answer, mostly because Tolkien himself doesn't even know most of the time. I mean, so it's an impossible question truly to answer. But that's anyway some background on the story of how it came to be. Okay.
Will you aid the Horse Lords?
I set siege to Ost Celebrant. I didn't set siege to it. I invaded it and cleared it out. What are you talking about? Setting siege to it would imply I built like barricades around it and like invested it. No way, man. If it were anyone else, I would think him mad. But this short halfling creature from the north, I could believe anything of him. The threat that Easterlings posed was great, and it is with shame that I admit my blindness to his presence. Yeah, not really keeping a very strong guard here, are you? The danger of more organized brigands serving under the eye, no less, was of great concern. Okay. But I'm done here, right? You want to get rid of me in case I discover anything else embarrassing that you overlooked? I get it. It's all good. To the east, more of my fellows are making forays into the Rushgore. Okay, hey, let's do that. Okay. What do you have for me here, Idmar?
You aid the Rohirrim.
Treasure seekers, undead oathbreakers, Easterling rats. It's all too much. Okay. We'll deal with the brigands. Well, I already dealt with the brigands, but it's okay. I set fire to their tents with some difficulty, I would add. If I journey along the road into the Rushgore, I will find the camp of your friend Akulf. Okay, Akulf will likely know from whence the treasure hunters are raiding the field of Celebrant. Sure. Okay, I can help with the brigands. Further, no problem there. Okay, hey, do you fix boots, Mr. Supplier?
You have need of our assistance.
Oh, you do. Fantastic. Thanks for that. Also, can I sell you some things? I've got lots of stuff that I'm probably not going to use. Don't think I'm going to use that. You never know when some logs of oak wood might come in. I'm, like, constitutionally incapable of getting rid of crafting materials, even though I don't have time to craft anything. But that's okay. So, I'm just going to clear out a little bit of... I've got Lanfirth's leggings there. How about that, right? Doron's ancient boots. I bet those must be ancient boots indeed. Okay. All right. Very good. Thanks, Idmar. And Mr. the Supplier. Okay. So we're going down to the Rushgore. Okay. Yes. Thanks, Anarwin, for reminding me to sell stuff. I now at least have enough. Let's see. Oh, I can fill it with more useless junk. Okay. Good. Good. Yeah. Oh, those I already have in my inventory, though, so that's not using extra spaces. Fantastic. Oh, better to attend to my legendaries here. Okay. No. Which is the one I'm using? This is the one. Oh, dear. I got to reforge that, too. Oh, man. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Nice. Okay. I can reforge that in the Rushgore, however. Let's take a look at this from the distance. All right. Down to the swamps down below. That presumably is the little town I'm looking for. Okay. All right. So is this where my new friend Akulf lives? I think so. Looks Rohirric. Look at that sloping roof. That sloping thatched roof. Ooh, and a turtle. We have entered a new region. We're now departing Parth Celebrant, entering the Rushgore, where there be turtles, apparently. Okay. Hey there, everybody. I'm here. Oh, wait, you can't see me. That's a little bit rude. I mean, hi, everybody. Don't act surprised. Okay. Oh, Stable Master. Hello there, Stable Master. Good to see you.
Welcome and well met.
Hey, well met to you, too. And I see a Forge Master. Oh, this exciting activity.
Friend of the
Oh, good grief. Hey, yeah, let's identify a whole pile of things, and then I can get rid of them. Because they're mostly useless. Okay, let's reforge that. Great, and I'm not even using this. It's a club, I don't care. I'm not going to use that, so that's fine. And I'm going to reforge this, and I'm going to... I don't think I'm using that either. I'm pretty sure I'm not... Oh, I got... Man, so many things to reforge. I've not seen a Forge Master in forever, apparently. Ooh, sneak movement speed. That is one of my favorite things. Okay, this is the important one, I think. Specialization, skill, critical, buff duration. See, that's one of those things which is a string of words, each individual word of which I understand, but when you put them all together, I have no idea what we're talking about here. So I think I'm going to choose this one. Okay, my goodness, did I have any legendary items that did not need reforging? Just my primary weapon, I guess. Okay, very good. While I'm here, why don't I clear out a little bit more of my inventory? Okay, let's deconstruct some things. This always makes me think of graduate school. Okay. Yes, we're deconstructing. That's right. Breaking things down into the signifier and the signified. Good. Excellent. Okay. Thanks, Mr. Relic Master. I now have, look at that, inventory spots all over the place. Great. Okay. Whew. Excellent. Ethelwald wants to know why there are giant reeds in literally every bog in Lotro. For two reasons, Ethelwald. One, because Tolkien mentions high reeds in this stretch of the river. There are very few. As the company is in their boats heading down through this portion of Middle-earth between Lothlorien and the Falls of Rauros, there's very little description that we get, sort of specific details that were given about the landscape around them. But one of those is tall reeds, and so therefore everywhere which is out near the river here, as you will recall from the the high reeds that were up here that we were looking and encountering wolf chewed bodies and things like that up here, are all have the reeds. So blame Tolkien if you don't like the really high reeds in the marshes down here. And secondly, I think that they think it's more challenging and fun because then you can't see anything, and it's harder. And it's been a long time since the Old Forest, so the opportunity to put you somewhere where you can't see anything and get lost is presumably too tempting to pass up. There we go. So there's my answer. Anyway, okay. All right, Ikalf, what do you got?
Our mission is dire.
Idmar managed to find an adventurer in these accursed wilds. No, I found him, actually. But you need my assistance. Great. What are we up to? Brigands, right? Final notice.
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
Among the tasks I have set you to, I want you to speak with Ulfrith, the captain of these brigand treasure seekers. All right. Warn him to leave peaceably. Right? Depart, or not one of you will be left alive. Is that the message I'm supposed to deliver? Leave behind all the relics. Okay. Great. What could go wrong? All right. What else am I supposed to do? Defeat them? Sure. You're ashamed to call them kinsmen? Okay, they are distantly related. That's an interesting confirmation there. And they must be punished, by which you mean slaughtered, I suppose. Okay. While the brigands will be but a small challenge to disperse, there's another threat. Shades of vile Oathbreakers. Really? Huh. Winston and Bagmund each have differing opinions concerning what should be done about them. Okay. I will accept your request to talk to one of them. Okay. You've located the brigands, right? We've been there. Recover the relics. Sure. Got it. Can do. All right. Recover the relics, destroy them, but the big question here is what to do with these. So go, Bagman, what's your plan?
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
The creatures I speak of are Oathbreakers of the meanest sort and should be given no quarter. They are evil and deserve their fate. We should banish them from this place. Whoa. If I begin quest line, so if I hit continue quest, then I'll be stuck. Okay, Winston, what do you say?
What brings you to these lands?
They're the shades of men who fell to corruption, 'tis true, but their curse affords them the opportunity to redeem themselves. Yeah. We must, yeah. so they may continue to fight against the Dark Lord. Heck yeah, I'm continuing with you, Winston. Oh wait, now I'm supposed to talk to Bagmund? I'm so confused.
Our mission is dire.
Finish? Okay. Okay, now
We have need of your services.
so confused. Okay. There was once a company of men from Gondor who had been... Yep, I know so much more about this than you do, dude. Okay, they were cursed for breaking their oath. Right. Good, let's help them find peace. I know their captain, he's a stand-up guy. I've seen these shades at Atburg, okay, lending aid to the treasure seekers there. Why would they do that? Because they still have a treasure thing, right? So they're recapitulating their act of betrayal, of course. Yeah, those guys are stuck in a rut. They need serious help. Okay, so find their captain and convince him to rejoin the fight against the enemy. Yeah. But you're too much of a wuss to do it. You're too scared. Got it. I'll take care of it. That sounds great. I want to lead them to redemption. Yes, sir. Okay. Because I was just saying there was no closure with the Oathbreakers up there. So if we can bring some closure down here, you know, that would be much better. Yeah, that one's a no-brainer. What did? Oh yeah, exploring. Great. Oh, quests of the Rushgore. Sure, yeah. Okay. Let's see what time is it. Oh, I got some time. Let's go talk to folks and let's see, where are we headed? Down through the weeds. Let's just go this fast way and let's stealth ourselves so that any turtles that are hiding in the reeds we can pass by. I don't think you'd be able to see me even if I weren't stealthed here. Okay. Excellent. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, grod bugs. Seriously, right. Those nasty bugs that we saw in Moria. What are they doing out here? I thought those were vicious subterranean beasts. Got the big turtles. We've got a Vonk. Oh, just like in Dunland. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you'd expect that alligator beast thing. Okay, hi, Eowils. Sure. You can tell he's a scout because he's kneeling on one knee so that he can see. What are you doing? You're staring right at the side of this boulder? Eowils, you were the worst scout ever. What are you even looking at? You're just hiding. You're not even pointed in the right direction. The camp is that way. Okay, man. You do you. I will head off. Okay, here we go. What are we looking at? Oh, I've discovered Atburg. Can't see anything in the distance or in the foreground. Oh, black swans! Yes! Oh, see, here's the Easter egg. Black swans. Remember they saw black swans flying overhead? The company did, right? Swans, and Aragorn says, yes, and they are black swans, right? These must be the very black swans that flew overhead. You guys saw the fellowship? That's so cool. You're in the book, you black swans, you. But you're like ominous in the book. Aragorn seems to think that you guys were up to no good. Maybe you could be spies and agents of the enemy. Because swans are bad news. Huh. Cool. All right. Oh, JJ says, yeah, he's making sure the boulder doesn't sneak up on anyone. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Well, everybody's got a quest ring, huh? Oh, wow, look, I just found Ulfirth. Just walked right up to him. Cool. Hi, Ulfirth. Actually, hang on. Hold it right there, Ulfirth. I'm going to talk to Brungwath over here. You're not going to slay me needlessly. That's very kind. The great eye has arisen once more, and you should fulfill your oath. Absolutely. Ulfrith and his men have shown us that honor is dead and hope is gone. Or, alternatively, okay, you weary of this honorless existence. Good. Your oath was sworn in these lands, and here it must be fulfilled. Great. Prove my honor, recover the relics of his people, but do not turn your eye upon your brethren. No problems. If I take up arms against them, you will be my enemy to the end of my days. No worries. Okay, great. All I have to do is not kill you? I'm good at that. Hi, Ulfrith. So I'm short, but you should take me seriously. And I will attempt to take you seriously, even though you're wearing that hat. What were you thinking? What is that, a beanie? I mean, okay, like, I wear a hat like that when it's cold. But you have a big old hood. Why would you wear a little skull cap? I don't know, it does give you, with the beard, a little bit of a kind of a, like a Rasputin look, right? Except your nose is too big. So that doesn't really work out. I don't know, man. Your whole ensemble, I'm not really into it. What's your cloak? Just red, mud splattered at the bottom? What's up with the shoulders of it? Looks like you've got it wrapped under your armpits. No, I see. That's those. It's just different up top. But weird. Yeah. No, it looks like you just... What, did you just attach that to your shoulder guards? Okay. Oh, first, you need a serious fashion intervention here on this island. What do you have in your belt? Is that a gem? Probably a gem, right? Tacky. And it clashes with the red of your cloak. Seriously, were you born with no taste? How can you be a good treasure hunter with fashion sense as poor as this? I know, Phil, exactly. We need to get Terry Adwin down here stat to help this guy. Hey, Ulfrith, I've got some fashion advice for you, and I am serious about the fashion advice that I have for you. The horse boys want you to leave, or at least upgrade your wardrobe. The field of Celebrant is rife with relics and trinkets from which your men and I can make a fortune, which you're probably... I only shudder to think of what you're going to do with that fortune. I mean, like, what kind of appalling garments could you buy at that point? If he wants you gone, he'll have to move you himself. I suspect that's going to be my job. But that's fine. So tell you what, Ulfrith, I'll be right back. I'm going to go check in with him. Okay? And because he's hiding behind a rock over this way. And after I've checked in with him, I'll come back and fight a bunch of your guys. But he's probably going to send me back to kill you, so let me get that first so I can do those things all at once.
What business have you?
He shall rue the day that he ever put on those clothes. Okay, that's it? Seriously? I have to complete all the others before you're going to tell me to... Okay. All right, I hate having to ferry back and forth 100 times. Okay, Ethelod, what am I reading? Okay, I've been reading a lot of Brandon Sanderson lately because I've just sort of recently discovered Brandon Sanderson, and I love Sanderson stuff. I finished all 6 of the Mistborn books recently, and I just finished... I went back and read Elantris, his first book, which was really interesting. So I just finished that, and I'm going to... Hi, Captain. Surprise! I'm going to read Steelheart next. Another one of Sanderson's series. But I also did some rereading recently, which I always like to do. So after I finished, before I'm starting Steelheart, and after I finished... Elantris, I had decided that I am going to reread a series I haven't read in a few years, which is the Grim Noir cycle by Larry Correa, which I really, really like. I don't really like any of Correa's other stuff particularly, but I'm a big fan of the Grim Noir books. Hard Magic, Spellbound, and Warbound. Really, really good series. But anyway, yeah, Phil, exactly. I started with Mistborn, which was great. Fortunately, Sanderson series are all kind of separate, so that it's not like one huge mammoth out of control series that you have to read in the right order, or else you're hosed. I did at least start Mistborn in the right place, so that was fine. I look at him presenting his back to me and dutifully looking at the cliff so that I can get him from behind there. No problem. Thank you. That was very kind, Mr. Treasure Seeker. Oh, pockets! Right! I'm a burglar! Hey, shh. Mr. Burglar Mr. Person in the Reeds. Let's see. Wait, where's my... No? Hang on. Where's my thing? Oh, there's the pocket picking. Okay, great. I'll remember that next time. Okay. Oh, Philly's only written one of those yet? Yeah. No, so this is one of my life decisions that I made a while back. Okay? I'm going to try not to read anything, any series that is not done. It's life is too short. Uh-oh, who's fighting me? Hey! Dag, don't attack me. I'm supposed to not kill you. Oh, for crying out loud, do I have to run away from you? What is going on here? Why are you attacking me? Oh, hey, relics. The relics reset. And yes, he went away. Phew. Okay. So yeah, if I find a series that looks interesting and it's not finished yet, I wait to start it until it's finished, if I possibly can. If I get suckered into... Okay, right, so he's going to warn me, and if I back off, he won't attack? Is that how this works? I'm backing off. Okay, why didn't I... Hang on. So yeah, so like for instance, I read the first book. I read The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, which is wonderful, brilliant book. But I refuse to read book 2 because he's not released book 3. And when he releases book 3, I will read it. And on the day that George R.R. Martin completes The Song of Ice and Fire, I will go back and I will start again at the first book, and I will read the entire series through from beginning to end, very dutifully. But would you please leave me alone? But if that day does not come, if he does not finish the series, I will not read it. That is just the way it is. Again, life is too short. I've got too many things to read incomplete stories. Unless they're incomplete Tolkien stories or similar. In which case, I'll put up with it. Okay. How long would it take the Mythgard Academy to go through the entire Wheel of Time series? I did finally read the Wheel of Time. Finish the Wheel of Time. In fact, that's what got me started on Sanderson, because I really, really admired what he did with the... Oh, you sneaky fellow. I really admired what Sanderson did with the end of the Wheel, how he handled the end of the Wheel of Time. It was really fun. I enjoyed that a great deal and admired that very, very much. So that's what got me. I was like, okay, I need to read more Sanderson, obviously. So that's why I went on and I asked the advice of somebody who was a Sanderson fan, like, what Sanderson series should I start with? And they said Mistborn. So I'm like, okay, and I loved it. I loved Mistborn. Pine Leaf asks, in the case of Martin, isn't life too short for reading it, even if it is finished? Well, Pine Leaf, it isn't that I wouldn't feel that sacrifice because it would be a significant portion of my life, and I don't enjoy it. It's the thing that I dislike about my objection to Martin, really. my primary objection is that I don't enjoy it. It's not fun. His books aren't fun to read. At least I don't find them fun to read. I'm not judging you if you do. It's just not me. I find his books unpleasant. His characters even more so much of the time, and I find oh, there he is. See if I can pick the pocket of a stealth guy. No, I can't pick his pocket. Oh, because that would have been kind of boss, actually. Anyway, it's just like, or to put it the same thing another way, his world, Martin's world, like the world of Martin's imagination. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm just going to kill him and not you, even though you're making this hard. Okay. Yeah, the world of Martin's imagination, I just find it's unpleasant. I just don't like being there. It's not that I don't think he's a good writer. He is. That's kind of my problem. I mean, I do find his story very effective. I am drawn into his secondary world. I just don't enjoy his secondary world. I don't want to be in his secondary world. That's my problem. So it's just, yeah, it makes me feel dirty to be in his world. I just don't like it. So yeah, again, it's not, I am the opposite of accusing him of being a bad writer. He's a good writer. That's what I don't like. But anyway, okay, let's see. Right. Is that all of them? I think that's all of them. Great. Hey there, Mr. Wolfkeeper, who just regen behind me. Oh, you're going to try to shoot me off my horse. We'll see how that pans out. I can go around corners, and then you'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to head out here by Ulfirth and Brungwath. Back across here, past the Black Swans. Still here, yes they are. And to my friend who is keeping an eagle eye on that boulder. All right.
What brings you to these lands?
Yeah, took care of those.
Our mission is dire.
Many of these are the House of... Oh, the relics. Yeah, sure. Okay. Great. Now you're going to... Can I go kill Ulfirth now?
Aid the horse lords.
Oh, wait, the Call of Honor, yeah.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
Brungwath bade me recover our relics. Yes. Return and let him know that I fulfilled it. Great. Can do. I'll go talk to Brungwath. Oh, sorry. Went the wrong way there. Excuse me. Who was it? Oh, there he is. Okay, excuse me, Ulfirth. I'll be back to fight with you in a moment. Yeah. I've earned your allegiance. Hooray! Okay. Great. All right. Past the Black Swans, under the shadow of Ost Celebrant, which looks relatively awesome from here. And now, actually, riding through on horseback's a little bit easier, except I'm being chased by turtles now. But I should be able to outdistance the turtles. Oop. Oh, something in the reeds. Don't know what it was. Another turtle. Okay. Here we are, I think. Vaguely. More black swans. Oh, this must be the home of the black swans. They were only just coming down to the... Oh. Grodbog. Seriously? Is he coming after me? Oh. Alright. I can live and let live with the Grodbog. Hey, Winston. Great news.
What brings you to these lands?
Wondrous news. Indeed. Wondrous news. Okay. What have I earned? A faded Rohirric waistcoat. Really? That's what you're going to give me? Let's see. Can we see? Oh, no, I really don't think so. Yeah, I mean, no. Come on. For real? How about the ancient inlaid breastplate, though? Ooh, better. Oh, I don't know about this leafy stuff around the neck, though. Not sure that I love that. Wow, yeah, and it's full length, too. That's kind of... I don't know. I like it. Yeah, Phil, I do need a bigger dressing room. And I'm going to have to buy more wardrobe slots, I'm afraid. Okay. I choose you. All right. Great. That reminds me. So my younger son Matthias is in 5th grade and is getting a yearbook this year. It's like his first yearbook. So my wife was wanting to submit to put in a little thing in the yearbook for him, and she wanted to say "We choose you," and was like, is that going to be weird? And I'm like, come on, people who don't get that are just lame. So why should we care? Anyway. I thought, it's like an American thing. It's not really even worth explaining. A thing that they sell at schools to suck money out of you. There's this whole company that has this entire racket based on this. Whatever. Anyway, okay. We've given the brigands every opportunity to cease their thievery and leave our lands, but they won't. We must assault Ottburg. Okay, I already kind of did it single-handedly, but all right. Your boots, though, these battered boots, would they match that? Ooh. Funky. Up close, they look kind of cool. From a distance, they look like I have frog's feet. A little bit. But it's okay. They're asking a thief to deal with other thieves, thing stuff. Yeah, it's like being plundered by other plunderers. All right, I think I got time for this. Let's do it. Okay. All right, currently I often sign off saying I need to pick up my kids. Does that mean once they can drive, the streams can last longer? Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see. It won't be quite so urgent. All right, Akulf, let's take drastic measures. No turning backs. Okay, good, I agree. Let's go. Oh, no, we're going that way. Hurrah! The 4 of us. Hi. We are the at least we're all wearing green cloaks. Mine's cooler. Gotta tell you, you don't have a great green dragon. Not even one. On your... Seriously? Okay. Come on, guys. No, other way. The bad guys are this way, guys. There you go. Winston's got the right idea. Winston. Right, okay. Here we go. We're in business now. You are a Wold Brigand. I didn't really notice that before. So does that mean you're a brigand if you're... Oops. That guy was probably not supposed to die. If you are a Wold Brigand, does that mean you are a brigand from the Wold, or you are a brigand of the Wold? Like you thieve, you steal from the Wold, or you are from the Wold and you steal? You see what I mean? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. What's this guy doing? Oh, there's his axe. He had no weapon at all. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yeah, sorry about Winston there. But in my defense, he did kind of leap up to the front. He was archer and he kind of was tanking, and I didn't think that was a good idea. I would have advised him against it, but all right, fine, I'll tank. Here we go, guys. We can do it. Oh, you think you can parry my attack, do you? Is that how this is going to go down? I don't think so. Okay. Defeat all treasure hunters. Okay. Akulf must not be defeated, but Bagmund and Winston are expendable. Here we go. We are cleaning house. Oh boy, big crowd from the cliffs. Thanks for coming down this evening. Oh, Bagmund is going to be in some trouble. I am not liking how this looks for him. Bagmund, I'm trying to help you, man. Wait. I tried, but you ran off and immediately started tanking that other guy. Well, at least they now agree on what to do about the Oathbreakers. Too bad Winston wasn't there, though, to see it. Okay. Yes, Sam, it was Charmandy's brother that did the flirting. Yes. Yes, that would be my older son, Nicholas, who is 15, so. It was his character who was flirting with that guard. You're correct. Okay, all right. I'm waiting for you, Akulf, because I was going to see if we could, like, not aggro them all at once. Good job. Oop, hang on. Oh, I'm behind a pole. There we go. There we go. Okay, coming along behind. Get some positional advantage. Okay. There we go. You know, Sam, I wonder, do you really think a Narnia MMO would be good? I'm not sure if it would. I mean, you know, like, I'm not saying it couldn't be done well, but Narnia, I love Narnia. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. It was Narnia that brought me to Tolkien. You know, I read The Hobbit for the first time because my cousin said, oh, I hear you really like the Chronicles of Narnia. If you do, you'll like this too. So, you know, Narnia is, you know, my first love. So I'm not saying this because I dislike Narnia, but the Narnia books are so much less immersive, you know, than Tolkien. It's just, you know, Lewis was so different in that way that it's hard for me to imagine that a Narnia MMO would be quite as cool. Just the... Oh, thank you. That's much more convenient. The world is so much less consistent that I always believe that that's what, you know, some people, when they think, because, you know, it's well known, you know, that Tolkien, he described himself as not really in sympathy with the, oh, Ulfrith, there you are. I recognize that beanie anywhere, and those clashing reds and your dirty cloak. It is time to face the sartorial reckoning, Ulfrith. Tolkien described himself as not being in sympathy with Narnia. Oh, are we done? Golf? No. Oh, seriously? What, shouldn't you run? A lot of people assume that this was because of the more explicit presence of Christianity in Narnia. I don't believe that. I've never believed that. Yeah, it's different from the way that Tolkien does things, but I don't think that that was what bothered him. We have some evidence of what did bother him about Narnia, and the stuff that bothered him was the lack of consistency, right? Like, Tolkien could not be in sympathy with a story that had Greco-Roman fauns, Norse dwarves, and then Santa Claus. in the middle of it. Like, it's such a mishmash. Tolkien was like, my head, it hurts. He just can't. He just can't. Hi, Akov. They will likely return. Hey, that's all right. We did a great job here. Let's leave before they return. Oh boy, we're that defeatist about our accomplishments here. Okay. All right. Excellent. Hey there, Akulf, we did it. Oh, look, Winston and Bagman made it back. Oh, it was just a flesh wound. Okay, hey, no problem. So I didn't get to see these other weather boots. Oh, those are simple, but kind of classic. I actually kind of like those. I like those better than the others. Don't know that I'm going to wear them, but, I like to keep my options open here at Kulf, if you know what I mean.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
No. Oh, no. I don't think so, Akulf. Okay. Now what? Oh, arguably I should complete the epic quest line. Yeah. Kind of left that behind. Where was I? There. Right. Finding things. Yes. Go back to Kerdrick. Okay. All right. I'll begin with that next time, having had fun here in the Rushgore. All right. Thank you, everybody. Really glad that you could join me here today. So next week, today, all right, next week I will be in Florida. I will be in Florida next week for Sunshine Moot. You can still register for Sunshine Moot, by the way. If you are in the Orlando, Florida area and would like to join us, you can still join us, and it'll be awesome. And I will be there next Friday, so I will not be broadcasting. In fact, next Friday, I will be taking my son Matthias to Diagon Alley at Universal Studios for his birthday. His birthday happens to fall very near Sunshine Moot, and I'm like, I'm going down to Orlando anyway, so I'm going to take Matthias with me, and we're going to go to the Harry Potter thing at Universal Studios, so that'll be fun. So anyway, so that's where I will be. I will be in Diagon Alley next week at my regular broadcasting slot. So I won't be here next week, but I should be here the week after that. So the week after that will be the 29th, I will be and so I'll be back on the 29th. Okay. Thanks, everybody. See you guys in a fortnight. Bye now. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.